Hari Om. I welcome all of you to today's Gita class. We will be picking up from where we left in the last class. We were doing this really fun video game revision exercise, and we stopped at shloka 9.27. Let's continue from there. So, who'd like to chant the shloka? Yes, Akshat. Go ahead.
यत्करोषि यदत्रासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत् यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय यत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम्.
Thank you, Akshat. So, this shloka, as we looked at in the previous class, it means whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as oblations to the sacred fire, whatever you bestow as a gift, and whatever austerities you perform, O son of Kunti, do them as an offering to me. Which is to say that do all actions as an offering to the divine. So, our fundamental question from the shloka was, is it really possible to do everything as a service to Krishna? So then we looked at what are the things that we already do in our day-to-day lives, and can we convert them or do something little different while we are doing the same activity which helps someone else. So if I'm good at drawing and if I'm drawing and painting every day, can I make a comic which spreads awareness on topics like pollution, or it could be anything like cyber law or anything that I'm interested in. Or if I'm good at math, then if I'm already practicing math, can I maybe help the person sitting next to me who's probably finding it a little challenging, help him understand that part? It could be math, science, anything. So we also took this task upon ourselves that we'd note down 5 things that we already do, and we could change something in that to help others. So who did that, and who would want to share their 5 tasks with us? Yes, Hriday.
I love music. I try to give my best in singing. Music makes our mind calm and peaceful. I sing melodious songs which makes the listeners to enjoy and forget the problems.
Wow, very nice, Hriday. Excellent. Very nice. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Yes, Grihit.
I like playing football so that I can play for my state and country. When my mom is cleaning dishes, I will help her cleaning.
Very nice. Very good, Grihit. So it can be literally anything, right? From music to football to doing the dishes. There's so many things that you can do. Let's also listen to Akshat.
I'm good at taekwondo, so I can play for my team. And then next, I am good at talking. I talk all the day, so I can give speeches.
And through taekwondo or through talking, either of them, can you think of something that will also help someone else? You already gave us some examples, but can you think of something else apart from what you said?
Uh,
So let's say now you've
I
learned
can
taekwondo.
even talk with a baby.
That's such a nice idea. So let's say I have this one question, right? So now you know taekwondo. So how are you going to use the skills that you've learned in taekwondo?
I can represent my team. I can represent my district.
Very nice, fantastic. You can also probably, when it's when let's say when you're all alone
Oh
on a,
my God, my littles.
on a street, or you're all alone on a street and you see maybe someone who's troubling someone else, maybe you can also help that person. You can probably teach your friends also some more for for their own self defense or for their safety. So you can think about the different ways. So it's not necessary that you actually think about everything that you can do, but maybe as and when you keep noticing little things around you, you will also start getting ideas as to how you can help people with the skills that you already have. Very nice, Akshat. Excellent. And we'll listen to Anya lastly.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so ma'am, what I love is like I love coding and robotics, so I can become a professional. Like, what do you say? Like that thing we can handle the coding and robotics.
And can you think of examples where you can also help others through coding, robotics, or anything else?
Yeah, I can probably like when my friends need help. Imagine I'm in a office that needs coding and robotics, and one of my colleagues need some help. Like they need help with a project, and I can help them.
Very nice. Excellent, Tanya. Very nice. So, first of all, great job, everyone. Coding and robotics reminds me of that video, the story that we also listened to and watched, when the person was really good at coding and robotics. He made prosthetic arms for people, right, which were very affordable. If you remember that story, show me a thumbs up. If you remember watching that video. Great.
Even I was talking about that. Even I, in my mind, that was coming.
Very nice.
Yeah, okay, stay there.
Very nice. Very good, Hriday.
When it comes to robotics, can I add one idea?
Yes, Vijayji.
So Anya, you said you are interested in robotics, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, see, there are different kinds of uses that you can do from robotics. Imagine, for example, as people age, right? Many of them cannot move around. So imagine, you have built a robot into which they can sit, and the robot takes them everywhere. So they're able to run, they're able to play with all their grandchildren. So you don't have to limit yourself to only helping your colleagues. So robots can help in many areas.
Yes, sir, but my dream is actually I too wanna help people like this Sophia robot which was made by the Hanson Robotics. I wanna make a robot like that too to help people.
Very nice, very nice.
Very nice. Excellent, Tanya. Also, we also learned about this what you love, what you're good at, and what the world needs. All of this together, we learned that this is a Japanese idea. So, who remembers the name and who would want to tell us all the name if you remember? I'll give you a clue. It starts from I. Yes, Vivan.
Ikigai.
Very nice. Great job. Okay, with that, let's so looks like the game says you are super duper amazing. So with that, great job, everyone. You did amazing. So with that, I think you all deserve to know the answer to the puzzle we left halfway, the level 2 puzzle. So who remembers the puzzle? What exactly was the question? Yes, Snigdha.
There were like two boys who were like there were two people who were like fighting over this well, where the one person was like to the other person, "Can I buy a well?" And then when he bought the well, he was about to take the water out of the well, but then the person who he bought the well from told him that uh, you I only gave you the well, but I didn't give you the water in it. So that's what they were fighting about.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Nick. That was absolutely right. That was the puzzle. So can someone think, did someone get some fresh ideas as to how you can solve this problem? You can think of some creative approach. That's the clue, by the way. You think of something a little creative, something that you don't really get it immediately. That's not the first solution that comes to your mind, but maybe it's a little different. Yes, Nigda.
So before I told that he could just give the well and the water, but then I thought of something else, that they could actually split the well. Like they could make two wells and then they could like split the water. And so instead of fighting, they could actually just split it.
Very good idea. It's a really good idea, especially when we are sharing or splitting. So coming back to the story about what Madhava and Daksha, if you remember, the king is Madhava and the parrot is Daksha. So what was Madhava's answer? And is it Daksha approved? Let's see. So Madhava comes with this really creative solution, if we can call it that. So what he says is that because one of them had sold the well, right? It wasn't just an agreement because he paid some money also, because now he bought it. Now to say that you can't really use the water would be injustice to that person who paid money and bought the well, because at least through common sense, it just feels right that when you're buying the well, why would you buy the well if there is no water in the well? If there is a well without any water in it, would someone buy that well? Not really, because the sole purpose of a well is to store water, to draw water from it, and then use the water, right? So some of the solutions that we could immediately think was maybe punish that other person, force him to give it back, force him to give the water back, or do something of that sort. But here's a very interesting solution that Madhava comes up with. He says, now because he's bought the well and this person owns the well, now because the person who sold it says the water in the well is still mine, he says, now because this is not his water, now you need to pay rent for the water that you own but you're storing in his well. Do you understand the solution? Show me a thumbs up if you do. So it's like you own the house but not the things in it. So the person who has the things should pay rent for all of the things that he kept in the well. So now the person who sold the well is in a fix. So should he then pay the rent, or should he just go back on on what he said and say that the water too is with you and I sold the water with the well? So I am mind blown with the solution that Madhava came up with. This is to tell us that there are so many different ways to solve a solution. It's not just because there is one very apparent or very it's just the first solution that comes to your mind. It may not be the best one. Maybe you should think deeper, find out if there are other solutions. Now, because all of you helped Madhava and because Daksha also approves this solution, you get the second gemstone. So here we are with two gemstones. So great job, everyone. With that, we come to the final level, level 3. We're very close to the treasure. But before we begin, here's another puzzle that Daksha gives or asks Madhava. So the question is, what is that one sentence or what is that one phrase which makes a happy person sad and a sad person happy? So to simplify, what is that one sentence? If I tell that to a happy person, it will make him sad, and if I tell a sad person, it will make him happy. So what is that one sentence? Who wants to take a guess and or maybe give a try? Come up with your own lines. Yes, Anya.
Ma'am, like one sad person is walking and then a happy person says, "Oh, hello, wanna become friends with me?" The sad person will be lonely, so he become happy that he has a friend now. And when the happy person is happy, the sad person starts to like bully him, saying that he doesn't get enough marks, he's so bad at exams. Then the happy person becomes sad.
Good try, but just a quick clarification on the question. It's the same phrase. So it's the same sentence that you're telling a happy person to make him sad, and it's the same sentence, the exact same sentence that you're telling the sad person to make him happy. So yeah, yes, Grihit.
So if the happy person does a mistake and he becomes sad, and the sad person does something good, he becomes happy.
That's a really nice way to look at it. Okay, we'll know. Does someone else want to share their answers? Raise your hand if you want to, if you really want to know what the phrase is. I'm really curious to find out. Okay, looks like a lot of us are, right? So let's give Madhava some time. By then, I'm sure he'll think of the answer. Let's revise the remaining shlokas and we'll come back to it once we are done with this, before we finish this level, right? So here we are with shloka 9.29. Who would want to chant the shloka? Um, Diya and Disha, would you like to read the shloka for us?
Okay.
Go ahead.
समोहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेषोऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम्.
Thank you so much, Diya and Disha. So the meaning of this shloka is, I'm equally disposed to all living beings. I'm neither inimical or partial to anyone, but the devotees who worship me with love reside in me and I reside in them. Also, we understand you reap what you sow from this shloka. Let's also look at shloka 9.30. Sanvi, would you like to read the shloka for us?
Sure, Manya. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यग् व्यवसितो हि सः.
Thank you so much, Sanvi. So the shloka means, even if the vilest sinners worship me with exclusive devotion, they are to be considered righteous because they have made the proper resolve. So I think we also listened to the story. We actually saw the story of thief Ratnakara, who then turned into Maharishi Valmiki. I think we also watched the video with the story of Angulimala. So here's the first puzzle of this level. So here's a situation for the puzzle. So you haven't really studied for this one exam. Let's say for a change, this time it's a social science exam, and you have just 15 days left. You have a lot of chapters to cover. Can you still do it? You have these questions coming up in your mind. Can I still do it? Because it's already too late. How will I do it? So, what would you do in such a situation? Who wants to answer? Yes, Nikta.
Actually, I saw one video related to this. It was like a tip if for last minute studying. It was like but this situation was like if there's like only one day left. So if there's only one day left and like you're not done studying, and when you go to school, immediately when you go to school, you have to write the exam. There's no breaks, gaps, or anything for studying. That time there's a tip that while you're going to school, you can take your phone and take some earphones and like listen, write everything, and then make your phone like say whatever all your notes and whatever like you have to study, and then while it's saying, you can like listen to it while you're going to school, and then somehow you can get some marks out of it. But in this situation we have 15 days, so what we can do is every single day we can divide it into two chapters. So, for example, there are 10 chapters, so two chapters. Then the next extra days we can like do some revision of the chapters which we have.
Very nice. Excellent, Snigdha. So, can I also say, based on your answer, that no matter how less of a time you have, or no matter how bad the situation is, or even if you think it's impossible, or I haven't done any study so far and there's an exam coming, the best thing to do here would still be to study, to not give up, but still perform your duty and not just sit and think about what you've done in the past, saying, oh, I haven't studied, or oh, I have no time left, but still utilize the time you may have, right?
Yeah, like that.
Okay, Akshat, you can. What's your answer?
In this case, I'll just not think of anything else and start to study.
Very nice. Excellent. Yes, Swanandi.
Yes, in this situation, what I would do is that I would first not regret about whatever happened in the past. So, just regretting would just waste my time. And so I would first believe in myself that yes, I can do it, even it's 15 days. I believe in myself. I like challenge myself, show it, you can do it. And in that way, I would do it. And after having that. Overcoming my fear, after that I would make a timetable of how many hours I need and how many hours I have and utilize my time in that way.
Very nice. Excellent, Swanandi.
Yeah, and one more
Yeah,
point I wanted to add.
sure.
Actually, I had my SST exam today, social science exam, and I actually came with this situation. I was left with a few things to do. So, yeah, I recently went through this.
Oh, I'm so glad you still were able to do it, and you
Yeah.
still did not just keep thinking about it, but actually took something in your hands and start taking action. Very nice. Another thing I want to put your attention to in this situation is that also question, if there is a situation like this, about why is that there are just 15 days, and why is it that still you may haven't you if you haven't covered if you haven't covered all of your syllabus, maybe question why you have so many chapters pending that you haven't covered. So because it is quite stressful if you do have so many chapters which you haven't covered, right? So why did that happen? So question why. What led to this situation in the first place? So you can come up with different answers. So maybe I spent a lot of time in this activity, or maybe I didn't manage time well, or maybe I focused on some other subject but completely ignored this one subject. So it's all of those things. Now you should also then notice that there is an action and reaction here, right? So you spend time on something else, and that is the reason you did not get sufficient time to finish the syllabus, and that led to a lot of backlog here. So it's also what you did in the past, it gives you some kind of a result in the future. So what's happening today is definitely a result of what happened yesterday. You can also look at it like what you sow is what you'd reap today. So if it were a mango seed, you get a mango plant. If it's an apple seed, you get an apple plant. Similarly, if you spend more time on a subject, then you'll definitely feel confident about that particular subject. In contrast, if you don't spend time studying one particular subject, you may not feel as confident as you may feel in the subject that you practice so much and put in a lot of effort. So it's also not always about exams, so exams are really important. It's also about learning and understanding the subjects, because a lot of time it may still happen that you really did not read, but somehow you did something, you just went through the key points, or you did something, you just by hearted all of the important things, and you may still have done really good at the exam. But you should also realize that the main aim of having that subject in your syllabus is that you understand some concepts in the subject, and that is the main goal. So the important thing here is that you spend some time studying, you've kind of understood the concepts really well, and that should be the main goal. And you will be able to then manage. When you have that clear idea, you will then be able to manage your time accordingly and also build plans. But also, the key focus here is what you sow is what you reap tomorrow. And how don't worry about what has happened already. You should definitely learn from your mistakes, but to keep going over it again and again would not really help you. Here's the next puzzle. Am I affected? So here the situation is, let's say, there's so many things happening to this person. Let's say his friends are calling him different names. Some of them are calling him, hey donkey, hey monkey. They're calling him some names that he doesn't really like to be associated with. Or there's so many things going on in his life. Now the question here is that person's me? Am I affected? Should I be affected? What is the truth? Am I? So here the main focus is I. So who are you? And is that you affected by anything at all? That's the clue. So yes, Grihit.
Like they might call him any name they want, but then he does not turn into that name, whatever they call him.
Excellent. Very nice, Grihit. Very good. Yes, Snigdha.
So, like, it depends on how you see it and how you take it in. So, if they call him a donkey or a monkey, if sometimes he may take it in a bad way, but also he must be like, I mean, I must think about it, and that's like say that, oh, a donkey is actually a very, hardworking animal, and it's not really a lazy animal or anything to be so, they're offended about it. So instead, it really depends on the way we see it. So if we see it, or if we see it in a very bad way, then obviously we would react in a different way. But if we see it in a good way, then we may react in a positive way. So it kind of depends on what perspective we are um, understanding the meaning of that thing that they're calling us. So it depends on whatever they call us, but we should always see a good perspective to it.
But
There's
be it good or bad, are you still affected by it?
That's exactly what I said. Like, not really affected, because if you see it in a good way, then let's say that you're not really affected to it. It kind of depends.
Okay, let's just take this example. Let's say a boy, Arjun, he falls down and hurts his knee and it's bleeding now. So is he really affected? So is he, the true he, affected here? Affected can be both good and bad, right? So is he affected here?
The true he in the sense you're saying his awareness.
So is he? So who is he then? Is he the body? Is he the awareness?
He's
So
the
so let's break
awareness.
it down like this then. So Arjun, he has this body, but he is this awareness. So is his body affected?
Yeah.
Is his awareness affected in any way?
No.
And who is he really? Is he the body or is he the awareness?
He's the awareness.
So then can we say that his body may be affected, but it is for him to understand that his true nature is the awareness and therefore he isn't affected in any way, but it's just the body. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's just the body, not his awareness.
And but when you say his awareness, like when you say his car, his house is his body, his
Uh,
mind,
uh,
it feels like it's separate from him. But the awareness is not really separate from that person, or I am the awareness. It's not my awareness. It is me. So it's important that you think of it as a truth and not it as something that belongs or is related to something else.
okay.
So great job, Snigdha. Very good. Yes, Akshat.
Actually, the true eye is not affected. But if you see, everyone is saying him like monkey, donkey, idiot, and all, and they are scolding him, and you can say they are bullying him. He can just ignore them.
Very nice. Excellent, Akshat. Yes, Anya.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So, ma'am, imagine I'm called by someone I'm dumb idiot. I'm just a dumb idiot. Idiot. You can't do anything. You can't even do a simple job, which ma'am even tells you. And I accidentally I accidentally hurt one of my friends. Yeah, and the school bully tells me like that she hurts my feelings like that. Yet what I do is I don't get affected by that. I just say what's even your problem? It was just a mistake. I didn't do anything.
Very nice. Very good, Anya.
Like
But here, one thing that you should understand is that no matter what it is, it could be words, it could be actions, it could be situations. Just know. It's just important for you to realize and know that you aren't affected by any of this. At least the true you are not affected by any of this. So, but great job, Anya. Do you have a doubt? Is there some confusion?
no, there's no doubt, ma'am. I just wanted to tell something, and I sometimes when someone bullies me, I just get a little brave. Sometimes I just don't get affected. I usually don't get affected by anyone who tells me like that.
That's really nice. It's very nice to not get affected. Your true self is anyway not affected, but even in your mind, when someone says, if someone calls you a monkey or a donkey, like we also discussed in our previous session, we know why not to be affected by any of it because it's not really the truth. You know the truth. Also, it is just just shouldn't be affected by anything that's happening in your surroundings. You should take it in a much more positive way. Just look at it in that sense that though he may call me a monkey, but I have this idea of monkey and I have this idea of me being a smart person maybe. And if that's causing the confusion, then first of all I need to correct the tags that I associate myself with, that I'm a smart girl, I'm a smart human being. So all of those tags are themselves not real. So when you realize that, you'll be free from all of this. Yes, Swanandi, do you want to add something?
Actually, I had a doubt. So you said that if someone tells like we are a donkey or insults us, you say that our true self is not affected.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't get that. How is our true self not affected? Because someone is insulting us, then our true self has feelings, right? So how is it not affected? I didn't get that.
Okay, so I think what we discussed in the previous session would help us more with that. So let's say someone actually calls you a donkey. Now, why do you feel bad? If you feel bad, why did you feel bad or why did you feel insulted?
Because it hurted me and I didn't expect the person to call me in this manner.
So what if someone called you a really smart person? Would that hurt you?
No, it wouldn't.
So why is it that one word didn't hurt you and the or made you feel happy per se, but why is it that calling you a donkey would hurt you? What about donkey or what about you and that relation hurt you? Why? So is it that idea? So what do you think about a donkey? What's your perspective about a donkey?
Can you repeat?
So okay, so what is your understanding or what's your perspective about a donkey? Why do you not like to be associated with that animal?
No, donkey actually, it would not matter to me, but someone just comes up to me and insults me and just goes away, that would hurt me, and I would think about it later.
Right. So, why not donkey? Because do you have some idea about a donkey? Maybe not you, but in the example itself. So, why is it that being associated with a donkey is not really making you comfortable? It makes you uncomfortable to be associated with a donkey. What
Because
about?
I associated the donkey with an uncomfortable situation.
So you think of donkey as just an example. So maybe someone
Yeah,
thinks
yeah, it's
of a
just an
donkey.
example. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, someone thinks of a donkey as an ugly animal or some a very dumb animals, a very stupid animal, something that can't really think. But then I associate myself as a very smart person, a very intelligent person, someone who's really, really very good at what I'm doing, right? So now when someone calls me a donkey, then there is this association that, oh, he's calling me a donkey, which is he's calling me a dumb person or a very stupid person or someone who's ugly. So all of these connections, right? So there are two things you need to look at first of all. So all of these ideas about yourself that one has is like intelligent or smart, or it could also it could be both positive and negative. It's important to first of all understand and realize that I am none of these. I am just the awareness, and the awareness doesn't have these qualities. So in fact, truly, I'm not any of these qualities. That's one thing to realize. The second thing to realize is that what are these things that I'm associating with this animal, donkey? So it's ugly, it's maybe dumb, it doesn't understand things. But if you remember when we read the shloka, we also looked at that story where a child sees, I'm trying to help you recall that story, wherein the donkey carries, I think, a lot of
No,
goods.
I was not there during that class.
Okay, so the story is something like there's a donkey which carries a lot of things on its back, and though his master is in the back and no one's telling him where to go, the donkey on its own figures out the directions. He himself he's very strong because the master can't really carry all of those things. He carries it on his own shoulders, and he himself remembers all. He remembers the directions, and he goes without anyone guiding him. So if you look at it that way, the donkey is a really strong animal, stronger than his master, in fact, because he's able to carry all of that weight on his shoulders. Second, the donkey is also really smart because he remembers the direction. He's able to go on his own, though the master is in the back. So, again, these ideas that we're associating with the donkey, it again depends on the perspective, really. But there's another thing. The donkey is also is also awareness, right? The donkey is just the form that it has. But the truth is the donkey is also awareness, which I am as well. So I am awareness and the donkey is also awareness. In that sense, we are not different. And in that sense, the monkey is also the same as me. All the living organisms on the world are same as me. So we're all one. So even if you look at
Yeah, I
all
got
of
your point now. I'm
these,
clear.
or even if you look at all of in or through all of these different perspectives, it just doesn't seem natural or right for you to be affected by this. And the truth is, because you have the awareness, nothing should affect you anyway. So that is the main learning we get from this shloka, that the seer is the one who looks at things, or the one who's seeing something, and the picture or something that's seen. So the seer isn't really affected by the scene. So I may be looking at 100 different things in the world as I open my eyes, but each of them don't, in fact, none of them actually affect me. So because I look at a glass, I don't become a glass. If I look at a laptop, I don't become a laptop. If I look at a bag, I don't become a bag. I don't take that form, or that doesn't affect me. So the truth is that the seer isn't affected by what he sees or the scene. So that's the main learning we get from the shloka.
Yeah,
Also,
thanks. I got it.
thank you, Swanandi. Also, I want to add one point in this puzzle. So here we looked at it more through the studies perspective. But if you apply this learning in anything in life, what Krishna says is that the most important thing is that there is truth in your heart and you put in your 100% and you have that true desire to get what you want. So it could also be realization of your true self. What is important is that your heart longs to understand the truth. Your heart has a deep desire which is really innocent and you really want to know it. You are ready to give everything you have to understand the truth. If that is there, then the divine will definitely help you to reach your goal or will help you to realize that you are divine and that is your true nature. So that's one another important learning from this puzzle. So with that, we come to shloka 9.32. Swanandi, would you like to read the shloka?
Actually, I'm not. I don't know how to read it. I can like repeat if someone says.
So, is there someone else who wants to read the shloka? Sai Kiran, do you want to give a try?
Yes, I will try.
Sure. You can start.
मम हि पार्थ मां हि पार्थ व्याप व्यापस्त्यायिपिषु.
Sai Kiran, would you like to repeat?
Yes.
Mam hi partha vyapashritya episyu papayonayah striyo vaishyastatha shudraha te piyanti parangatim. Very nice.
Sai Kiran, would you also want to read the meaning of the shloka?
Yes, sir. All those who take refuge in me, whatever their birth, race, gender, or caste, even those who society
scorns. Society scorns.
Society's scorns. Will attain the supreme destination.
Very good, Sai Kiran. Excellent. So that is shloka 9.32. We also have the final shloka that we'll be covering today, which is shloka 9.34.
Ma'am, can I read?
Sure, Anya.
Ma'am, can I start?
Yeah, please do.
Manmana bhava mad bhaktyo madhyaji mam namaskuru man yashi yuvakteva.
Mame vaishyasi
Mame yashasi
yuktvaivam
yuktaivam
atmanam
atmanam
matparayanaha.
Pranayaha. Parayanaha.
Very nice.
So can I read the meaning?
Yeah, sure.
Always think of me, be devoted to me, worship me, and offer your obeisance to me. Having your dedicate your mind and body to me, you will certainly come to me.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Anya.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Here's the puzzle for this shloka. So you're in class and a teacher scolds a classmate of yours. She tells that boy that you're absolutely useless, you can't solve anything that I teach you, you don't understand anything, you're useless, and you can do nothing. And for the exam that's coming up next, you're definitely going to fail, and I'm sure about this. So she says this to that child. Now, you are also in the class, you see all of this. So the question here is, what will you do? So, what would you do if you saw this happening?
Ma'am,
Yes, Anya.
ma'am, if the classmate gets scoldings after school, I know his home and I'll come to him and I'll help him to with my books and I'll help him to study for the next exam and make him understand everything. And then once the exam comes, before the exam day I'll help him in all the things, and then once in the exam he'll do everything and he'll pass.
Very nice. Excellent, Anya. Very good. Yes, Nigta.
Well, actually, like this situation has happened many times, like in my class. So, but like honestly, to be honest, I usually don't really do anything because like the teacher will be in a really bad mood that time. So, even if I utter a word, then they might punish me too. That's why I just keep quiet. But then what I wish to do is that I could actually go help the person and see where he's actually struggling at and help him out in his studies so he can pass the next exam like Anya told.
Very nice. So, one thing that we look here is that in this given puzzle or any problem in life, or if we can call any puzzle of life, there are different ways to look at that puzzle. There are different solutions to it. There are different aspects of that puzzle as well. So here there's a teacher, there's some child also who's getting yelled at by the teacher. So you can the two ways to address this issue. One maybe through the teacher and one to the child. So even if you think you don't really want to get into telling the teacher something or interfere there, it's absolutely okay if you can at least help the child. Like Snigdha and Anya both suggested, if you can help him after school or during lunch or during games period, literally anytime you get, if you can do anything to make the situation any better, that will be just great. Yes, Akshat.
In this case, I would help that child in the concepts which he feels difficult and is not able to do.
Very nice. Very good, Akshat. Excellent, everyone who answered. So, one thing that the shloka also tells us here is that you would understand and realize that each and every one of us, though we're equals, we are very unique. So, we are different. We are good at different things, but we may also find some things challenging. So, maybe one person's really good at some subjects like math and science, but he's also not as good as, or it's not as natural for him to understand social, or maybe play chess or cricket, or it could be different things. So not all of us are good at everything we do, so we're different at different things, and that makes us really unique and makes us really special. So it's important that though there's this one child who's maybe not understanding the concepts in the class, it doesn't mean that you just think of him as someone who's some other person, like he's not me, so I don't that's not my problem, so I'm just going to choose to ignore. So you look at him through that lens, so he's someone else. So the shloka suggests that you maybe find out ways to help that person, because he is not really bad at it, or he's not really someone like the teacher said, he's a useless person or a failure. He's not really all of that. He's just we're all unique, we're all different, and he may be finding this challenging, but with a little bit of help, you never know, he may do really well at that subject. And also, it's not always the result it's not always the result that you should focus on, but just the process. So don't worry about whether or not he passes or fails in the exam or what happens later on, but just look at what you can do at this very moment, how much you can help him, what you can do, maybe even just suggest that this is the nice book, you can read that and that'll help you understand the concept. Or maybe this video on YouTube, this person on YouTube teaches really well the same concept, he teaches that concept really well. So even that could be a really good place to start from. But great suggestions, very nice everyone. And here's the final puzzle for this level. So, who am I in this puzzle? So, if you look at this puzzle, you see that there's this really large and magnificent elephant standing here in the picture, who's tied by this really tiny nail. So, what do you understand from this picture? And yes, Sohan.
What do I understand in the picture is the elephant is there, which is usually the elephant's skin would be in dark grayish color, but the elephant's color is in pink, and its eyes are looking a little bit dull, and it is tied to a rope where it cannot move from that area. It can keep on going circles if you use its brain.
So do you think the elephant doesn't have enough strength to remove, like, just pull his leg from the tiny nail or the tiny, very big rope?
He can but he cannot because they're not giving him any food wherein he cannot move it. Where his energies, it will take a lot of effort for him to move, and sometimes he can fall down by pulling off the stress, or he might get dizzied.
Okay. Very nice, Sohan. Let's also listen to what others have to say, and also let's see if this picture has some hidden lesson for all of us. Yes, Snigdha.
So, like, according to my perspective, this picture might mean that it means that the most smallest things can bring a very, like, a great, no, the smallest things can create big things. Like, this small thing is not letting the elephant, like, go, walks, like, freely. Instead, it's just, like, tied to it. So even the most smallest things can do the, like, most greatest things, even if
Very
it's very
nice.
small.
Yes, Snigdha. Great. If I lastly listen to Akshat. Yes, Akshat.
I can see elephant. It's sad. Just I think it's sad because it is tied to a rope with a small nail. I am puzzled because it is so big and I can pull out the nail and the rope. And why is it not pulling it out?
Very nice. So what we understand from this puzzle is that this one puzzle is really puzzling and it comes up with so many other puzzles, right? Why is this elephant sad? Why is this elephant not able to be not freeing itself from that tiny needle? So there's so many little puzzles within this one big puzzle. So there's a backstory for you to understand as to why this happened. So as the elephant was really small, very young, let's say it was born just a week ago, it's really tiny. And then they tie this nail on the ground and tie the elephant to the nail with a rope. The elephant as a baby tries to free itself from the rope and the nail, but then it doesn't, it fails each time it tries. So after a couple of days and a few weeks, it just stops trying. It just surrenders to that situation, saying, oh, I can't escape from this. What happens is, though the elephant keeps growing, and after a lot of years it grows into this big elephant, it's still tied to that small rope. Though it can easily free itself, it doesn't free itself. So why does this happen? It's because of this belief. It believes that I'm tied to this rope. And because it believes that to be true, that actually becomes the truth of this elephant. Though the nail, here, it's important to understand that the nail isn't stopping the elephant from moving freely. It's actually the elephant's belief that I can't move. I can't pull the nail from the ground. It is that belief that's stopping the elephant from moving. This also tells us, like Snigdha mentioned, it's the tiny thing here, she says, that can make big or drastic changes. So a lot of things in life could also be just a cause of our thoughts. Our thoughts or our beliefs, which may feel as a very small thing or an insignificant thing, which doesn't make a lot of change. It could be that tiny thought, that thought that just came up a second ago. It could be that belief that we don't even know we believe in, something that's very subconscious. All of that could actually be holding us back. It could be limiting us to what we believe to be true. You may have also read these stories where there are these people who probably have their legs or hands amputated, and they try to climb mountains or swim. So the people around them tell them that you can't do it, but then they try out different ways. But because they have that willpower and they believe it's possible, they're not limited by those circumstances and what people say, but they actually go on to do what they wanted to do. There's also to understand that there's so many different things that this puzzle teaches us. Uh, is that one, don't limit yourself. Also realize that you are not the limited but the unlimited, because you are the awareness. Don't limit yourself to this body. Don't limit yourself to this mind. Two, it's if you move outside just this body mind understanding, you will also realize that your thoughts and beliefs could also be limiting you, like this nail and the rope. The idea that the elephant carries about these two are limiting the elephant from moving freely. Like that, we may have those thoughts, we may have those beliefs within us, which are stopping us from doing things that we really want to do or could be good to us. So it's important that you realize what is stopping you, and then try to find out what the truth is. Keep trying until you get to what you wanted to do. So the third final learning is that you become what you keep thinking about. So the elephant kept telling itself that I can't move. The nail is holding me back. And because the elephant kept thinking of this, it kept telling itself that I am not strong enough to move this nail. I can't move, I can't move, I can't move. Therefore, it never moves. But if you tell yourself, it's really important about how you talk to yourself, about the things that you tell yourself. You may have also heard of these things called affirmations. So people encourage you to say nice, positive things to yourself. That I'm a good person, I'm really kind, I'm helpful, I can do it, I can do things that I want to do. I am strong. I can handle things. I am not affected by the things happening around me. It's really important that you tell yourself. So you may know that you're not the body, you're not the mind, but it's also important to keep telling yourself, to keep reminding yourself, because sometimes it's very possible that you forget, or there are some things that's happening around you that may affect this understanding. But what's important is how and what you tell yourself, how you speak to yourself. So that's the main understanding of this puzzle. With that, the first of all, the game says you are marvelously fabulous. So great job everyone, you guys rocked this level as well. Coming back to that question about what is that one phrase which if you tell a sad person it makes them happy, and if you tell a happy person it makes them sad. Who wants to know? Raise your hand. Great. So I see a lot of you raising your hands. So the phrase is that Madhava comes up with. That's the answer he gives to Daksha. His answer is, this too shall pass. That is, this is not permanent, but this too will change. There is change, and change is the only permanent thing. So this too shall pass. Now, why is it that when you tell a sad person that this too shall pass, he becomes happy, and if you tell a happy person, he becomes sad? Who wants to give it a try? Who wants to explain? Yes, Nika.
Oh, I didn't raise my hand for that. I raised for like
Oh,
getting to know about it.
oh, okay. Yes, Sanvi. Do you want to tell us why that phrase makes a sad person happy? And
Yeah, so when someone says that to a poor person, the poor person thinks that me being poor will go on. I'll become, I won't be poor anymore. So hearing that, he'll become happy. And then when you tell that same thing to a rich person, it means that the rich person will become sad, knowing that his richness will move on and he doesn't want it to move on. So he's become sad.
very nice. Excellent, Sanvi. Thank you very much. So that is it. So if you tell taking the same example that Sanvi gave, so if you tell a person who's probably sad because he's poor, if you tell a person that this too shall pass, if you tell him that you can do things to change this because this is not permanent, you can change this, you're giving him some power to change it. So that makes him happy. It also gives him some kind of a motivation to work for it. But also, if you tell a happy person this, he may think of it this way that he's very happy that I have all of these riches, when you tell him that this too shall pass, he may have that fear of losing the things that he already possesses, and that might make him sad. But what does Bhagavad Gita tells us? That you should be a sthita prajna. You shouldn't be affected by the situations. So, because you all are reading the Bhagavad Gita and you're understanding the lessons and you're also applying it in your life, this particular puzzle may not really, this phrase may not really affect you. Also, because you know that you are the consciousness or the awareness and you're anyway not affected. Also, because you're a sthita prajna, you're not affected by the situations happening, and therefore you all are really fabulous. And that's what Daksha the parrot tells you. And because you all have done wonderfully well, he also gives you this third gem. Now, what do you do with these third gems? Daksha tells you that here are some shapes, you put all of those gems here and the treasure opens. So let's see if that happens. And indeed, there is some treasure here. But there's also a hidden meaning here, which is you can also apply this in your life. There are three gems that you can, in fact, understand and also apply, which is truth, realize, and use. What if we have these three gems? That is, you know the truth, you come to know about the truth in the Bhagavad Gita class or elsewhere. You realize the truth or understand it in the through the depths of it, and then you also go on to apply it. So, what if you have these three gems? Then you get this treasure of peace and happiness. So, that is what this game tells us. And that's the main learning of this wonderful game. And I hope all of you enjoyed. Thank you so much. Hari Om.
Hari Om, ma'am. Ma'am,
Hari Om, ma'am.
what about
Hari
the
Om.